Welcome to another Trading Psychology episode. This is Season 5, Episode 4. Provide for yourself. Have a competitive edge, otherwise don't compete. Here's how. Can I start by saying safety is an illusion? Taking no risk is like knowing how to swim but choosing instead to cling to a sinking ship and hope for the best. Okay, so life is subjective and it's your own. Sink or swim. You choose. There really isn't a right or wrong because at the very end, there's nothing to gain and nothing to lose in this life. I personally just feel we are blessed to be playing it. Nothing more, nothing less. You come with nothing, you leave with nothing. All I would say then is don't sweat the small stuff by wasting time trying to control every aspect of your existence. You do have power to change how you live because the future has yet to be written. But you know all of this already. So if you can't imagine waiting 5 p.m. every day, all because you didn't take a risk, perhaps you've unwittingly cultivated a mindset that removes you from opportunity. Get good at losing. Trading is the best game. It pits you against yourself. Initially, traders spend years trying to win, and they eventually get good at winning. I'm frequently sent screenshots of profit and short-term success and messages saying they feel they are starting to get it. Then they'll say something like, but if only I could stop blowing my accounts. Conclusion then is simple enough. Winning plenty, but struggling with a few losses. Not accepting losses, not really understanding the lessons failure provides. So left unchecked, the losses manifest until there's nothing left. The solution. Managing your own expectations is a big part of trading, as it is in life. You really need a plan, a process, something you can follow, believe in, and just feel a part of. Another main aspect is, of course, mastering how to risk. Learning how to have a competitive edge, otherwise don't compete. Here's how. First, acknowledge you can win. You can have a string of success, so potentially the easy part is already done, in theory. Often say to my team, the profit takes care of itself. Truth. Second, spend 80% focusing on understanding when things go wrong instead of spending 80% trying to overtrade, overcompensate and force it. Because losses don't happen often, so when they do, stop for at least 10 minutes, sit, breathe and journal, see why it went wrong. The lesson is there, it's trying to tell you something. Maybe the trend is changing. Same principles in life, I find. Mistakes can be potential lessons. A good example is how you treat and talk to others and how you generally behave. This can impact your mental well-being, which can affect your decision making. How long does it take? I would usually ask a trader what's important to them. Why are they here? Most just want to make money. Seems to be the case in life and in general. Beyond that, they haven't a clue. For me, it's important to support others around me in this industry, but as part of building my team of traders, I need them to have more of a plan than just make money. First, learn the process. Allow the brain to recognize repetition, good habits, and best practice. Next, get at least a 50k prop firm trading account or use your own personal funds of at least 10k plus. Trading with anything less will mean risking more than 0.5% and pretty much gambling with very little risk management. This is why most retail traders fail. They use maybe $300 or perhaps $1,000 and try to flip this amount without any proven strategy or track record. I'm sure when you read this, you'll agree how silly this may sound. So learning how to get out of your own way is essential for your psychology. Manage expectations. Traders often message me wanting to tell me how well it's going, as I've said before. So they feel I will provide enough of an edge to help them get over the line, funded and instantly making profit. Sometimes they are thinking within a week or two. When I ask how long they have been trading, it can range between 1 year and 4 years. So then I tell them this can take a few months depending what you're bringing to the table, as you have years of baggage to sift through and filter. Their reaction is often very similar in that they were expecting it to be quicker because they consider themselves to be proficient enough, because after all, they win all the time, but have very poor risk controls. So I have to remind them, it's been years already without success, so what's a few more months? You see, it's almost always about managing your expectations. Often by simply removing yourself from the equation so you are no longer a major hindrance to the process. Deliberate practice. Skill development comes from repeated experience guided by corrective feedback. That's what I aim to provide for my traders. This process of repetition is known as deliberate practice. My observations over the last 20 years concludes the following then. Traders can win plenty, but struggle taking a few losses. What I've also come to realise and see firsthand is when traders are holding for more and more profit, say a 1-to-3 plus ratio, but haven't banked any along the way, they may end up with a break-even trade or even a loss. Trading is of course subjective, so my approach is to have a type of hybrid style. This has two targets, T1 and T2. First target is based on a day trading move using key confluences like Fibonacci as my primary tool. The second target is a swing trading style, looking to capture any bigger trending move. Risk is generally only 0.5% or less, and it can take about 4 to 8 weeks to make 10% depending on numerous variables. Summary. Most who listen and read this podcast share a common theme. They seek better time freedom and financial independence, to essentially have control over how to spend their time as opposed to working a standard 9-to-5 role. Trading has true power and unlimited potential to grant access to a profound, intense and beautiful life experience. I support these ideals as a way of reducing the suffering by sharing my knowledge from the past 20 years and giving back accordingly. It's good karma. It's extremely gratifying when I share and can help others with something I know an awful lot about. Trading.